And we do see a potential Baron dance coming from Noxus. Looks like Swain is going to go ahead and re-grab that blue buff, and they're just going to kind of position themselves. It looks like they might be trying to bait out a Baron. Yes, I am English as a second language. My first language is French, so... And no, not counting Noxian or Birdspeak as my first language. So yes, that being said, it's sometimes I do have issues pronouncing names that have H's in them, so apologies. But we do see that Piltover is just kind of doing very well on countering any kind of push. They're getting decent farm. Jace is doing really well, and he's just going to continue to poke down on that Talon. And Rumble is back top lane, this time joined potentially by Blitzcrank. They are going to get that top turret, it appears. We see Mundo with an Oracle's Elixir going in and clearing out wards against Baron. Yet again, it looks like they are trying to either bait out a Baron, or they will be potentially doing Baron within the next 5 minutes or so. It's looking at everyone's item builds. It looks like almost everybody is out of position at an item build where they would be able to go ahead and do it. We see Swain is trying to catch somebody out, however his Never Move misses. We see Blitzcrank miss a grab. We're just kind of seeing a little bit of counter aggression. We see Swain putting down Never Move. Noxus is doing a really good job at keeping all of the Piltover team at bay, and they're essentially all grouped together in one bush. Noxus has gone back down to mid. We see Swain, Dr. Mundo, and Talon just kind of dancing around near Baron. We see a Draven ult come down in order to get some of that farm from bot lane. And yet again, Mundo is just doing a really phenomenal job at clearing out wards. And LeBlanc goes down in order to ensure that the bot turret, inner bot turret for Noxus does not go down to minions, especially against a siege wave. Yet again, we just continue to see Noxus just grouping very well together. Dr. Mundo is just camped out looking at that Baron buff. He looks like he really wants it. However, it looks like they're just going to continue to position, and there is a current pause. And it wasn't Mundo wanting to get Baron, it was Mundo just being away from having some connection issues. Yet again, it appears as if in every game, Mundo has some form of a connection issue. My current pause time says 26 minutes 40 seconds. So I was commenting a little bit from behind because the pause was there, and there was a minor sync issue for a moment. However, we are currently up to live speed. I decided to go a little bit back in the past because I saw that there was a pause and the syncs would add up in the end. Thank you, Cupcake. Alright, so while we're waiting for Mundo to come back, let's just slightly discuss what exactly has gone on in this game. Yet again, we have seen a very commanding lead from the Noxus Summoners. Yet again, 21 kills to 16 for Piltover. We have a 5-1 turret lead, and they are currently ahead by 6,500 gold. Looking at all of their item builds, it looks incredibly strong. We have a LeBlanc that has a Deathfire's Grass, so she's just going to pump out damage. Mundo has built heavy utility with a Spirit Visage and with the Locket of the Iron Solari. Its Swain is going for health and damage, having picked up a Leandri's Torment, having a Rod of Ages. He's going to be a late game menace, especially once she finishes that Archangels. Looking at it now, that Tear of the Goddess is fully charged thanks to the changes made and with his ultimate just continually proccing it. Looking at Talon and also at Draven, they have a very similar item build. Both of them have a Bloodthirster, both of them have a Last Whisperer. However, Talon is going the more assassin build with getting a Black Cleaver, with getting boots of mobility that have Home Guard, and we see Draven is just trailing a little bit behind simply due to him not having as many kills and due to their CS being nearly equivalent at this point. So Talon is really having a really strong showing. Looking over at Piltover, we see that Blitzcrank has done really well in terms of warding. He has that Sightstone, he has Ruby Crystal. Yet again, he is a little bit behind simply due to the fact that there are just not as many kills on his team and he does not have as many assists. We look at Ezreal. Ezreal has a very high damage potential output. He has Iceborne Gauntlets. He has that. He has a Zeal, and it looks like he might possibly be building that either into a Phantom Dancer, or maybe he might be going for a Triforce. He also has the Bloodthirster. Jungle Vi, yet again, is a very formidable force. We see that the Brutalizer, the Aegis of the Legion. Yet again, she also went ahead and itemized that machete into a Spirit of the Ancient Golem, which does give that increased tenacity, which really helps against Mundo, Swain, I mean, essentially the entire team that she's up against. We have Rumble coming in with that Hextech Revolver, and Leandri's, and Jace just has really a strong item build, and we are back in game. And we are back out of game. So we can talk a little bit more about Jace. Jace has the Iceborne Gauntlets, yet again, really working well with Ezreal. Both of them are just going to be able to poke and keep everybody locked down. That Banshees does really well against that team comp, and just more damage items. It does appear as if all of the Noxians are utilizing pause. Hopefully those were legitimate reasons for the pauses. I would hate for there to be abuses of the system. Mundo sees Vi and chases her away, but he gets spotted out by a ward that he sees, so he'll be able to take that down, get a little bit of extra gold, and there he goes. Yet again, Blitzcrank does not mind that much. That was one of his wards from his Ruby Sightstone, so yet again, not that much of a loss, just in vision. So Noxus is going to continue to push up. Yet again, Baron is up, Dragon is up, blue buff for Piltover is up as well. We see that they are continuing to drop wards just to continue to get vision, especially important for Blitzcrank because he will be able to possibly get a game-changing grab over the wall. We see Jace run back in order to recover some mana, and we see that all of Noxus is going to run down in order to possibly get that blue buff and also to get that Dragon. Yes, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and give that blue buff to Swain, so Swain will continue to have that domination, and we will see them possibly posturing for that Dragon. Nope, they're going to just back off, and it looks like they might continue to either Baron Dance, or they might just wait to see if anybody's going to come and find them. More than likely, though, what it appears is they're just going to let Mundo tank out an entire turret, and they're just going to go for it. Really nicely done, especially with Rumble being top lane. Now they're going to say, hey, they're going to think we're going to keep pushing, let's go ahead and get Dragon, let's, go back, possibly get some items. I mean, that's a really good play by them, and really nicely done by Mundo. Unfortunately, there was just not enough reaction, or really a capacity for reaction that Piltover was able to do due to their team being so split up. Alright, and it looks like Noxus might be considering going in for a Baron. We see that LeBlanc is sitting there, just kind of baiting them out. However, she dashes away with no wards available for Noxus, it seems. They could possibly be losing this Baron, as almost all of Piltover is present there. And it does look as if everybody is present, and it looks like Piltover will go ahead and begin the Baron. Actually, it looks like they just decided to back out. It looks like Rumble is just going to go ahead and go up in top lane. And it looks like they're just going to go back. In North America, there is sometimes a trend where we get into this point where people just want to farm, people want to build their items a little bit more. We see that Swain went back and got ahead and got a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. So anytime that he is in bird form, he is just going to slow. So that's a really good counter to Iceborne Gauntlets. That does not really benefit his Decrepify all that much, but it does do wonders in terms of other things. So we see that pings are going down everywhere in order for Baron to possibly be pulled up. Looking here, we don't see that there are any words. We see that Mundo gets grabbed by Blitzcrank, and we see that he has to blow his ult. We see that going in, we see LeBlanc goes ahead and dashes in, gets a stun. However, she has to go ahead and back off, being taken down to half health. The tank line was just not there for her to really do much. That being said, they do not have any kind of an oracles or any kind of a pink ward to notice that there is that ward in the back. We see that Vi goes in and is killed by Draven, and this is just going to turn out into an all-team fight. We see that the Draven ult goes down and catches a lot. We see that Talon goes down, however he is able to pick up a kill onto Jace. We see that Draven is got a triple kill off of Rumble and Blitzcrank, and we see that LeBlanc has gone ahead and gave enough time for Draven to catch up in order to get that quadra kill and an ace. So they're just going to keep pushing in. It looks like Mundo's going to pop his ultimate. He's going to pop Locket of the Iron Solari, and they're just going to push in with Seth at such high health. Draven is just going to be able to chunk down that turret, and they're going to get that inhibitor off of that. Really, yet again, well played on behalf of Noxus. Piltover just did not have a response for once Vi went in and ulted onto LeBlanc. While they were able to take out Talon, Talon was still able to take out one of theirs. So that was a 4-for-1 exchange, putting the gold lead at nearly 10,000. And it looks like the solution that Piltover is going to come up for that is they might try to sneak in a Baron yet again. It could be very risky because of the fact that, you know, they are so far behind in gold, they are so far behind in kills and turrets, plus they have one of their inhibitors down. That being said, you know, it could be very good to deny Noxus that gold and that buff. So we see Swain is being chased by Blitzcrank, but Swain is more than likely going to be able to get out of harm's way. Blitzcrank is going to try and rocket grab, but he is going to miss. And we see that everybody is within range. LeBlanc sees Blitzcrank, and Blitzcrank does have an Oracle's Elixir, so he is able to counter ward. We see that Mundo is just going to throw his briefcase cleavers down and try to do a little bit of counter initiation. We see that Piltover is going to go for that Baron, and we see that Mundo is going to go down in there, and it looks like this could be a team fight yet again in favor of Noxus. Baron is just doing so much damage to the Piltovers, and they finally are able to get Draven down, however, and they get Talon down. However, Swain was not even present for that team fight. They're able to split everybody up. Rumble is able to take out LeBlanc, however, Swain takes him out with a well-placed Decrepify and a well-placed Torment. Jace is more than likely going to be able to run away due to stance changing, due to acceleration gates, and Mundo is just not going to have the move speed in order to catch up and get him. That being said, Swain and Mundo being the last two against Jace, not that really bad. It was yet again a 3-for-4 exchange. The gold total is still yet again nearly 10,000 in favor. We see Swain is trying to solo Baron, and Mundo has gone in order to help tank some of the damage. We see him pop his ult. Yet again, this might not be a clean take. it might have been a wiser idea maybe to wait for some few more people, but with Spirit